Dog Show is brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Yocklin. Welcome to the Gym Dog Show. Joining me today is Associate Head Coach Jay Clark. The Gym Dog team is currently ranked #2 in the country. We started our season with a big home score against Stanford of over 197 points, and that still is the highest score in the country. Came back the second week with a subpar performance against Kentucky. So the average of the two meets put us in the #2 ranking position. This past weekend, we had 2 road competitions, first in Arkansas and then at NC State. Jay, what do you think about the weekend?
Well, 2 meets in 3 days, 4 takeoffs and landings in different airports, 2 broken down buses, some cold weather, some ice storms, but and some shaky performances in the first meet. But overall, a very, very good weekend. I think it's important to focus on what we did, the last thing that we did, which was yesterday at North Carolina State, and had an outstanding meet, coming back and getting a really good road score that should do us very well as we go down the road.
Even though the scores are not reflecting everything that we're doing, we are really, really improving. So in today's broadcast, we'd like to start out with the first leg of our weekend competitions, and that was against University of Arkansas. Let's take a look at how our team did on the balance beam. We were on the campus of University of Arkansas for our second away road competition in the SEC. Georgia enters the last rotation ahead by almost a half a point, but unfortunately, when we head over to balance beam, the problems start getting worse. This is Grace Taylor, who was first up and nailed a really solid set. Grace has a lot of difficulty in her routine, a lot of combinations. You can see that she had a small break on the flight, but it was very, very minimal. Here's her full turn with her leg in horizontal to immediate gain or layout. Beautifully done. She has a lot of confidence for a freshman. There's her front move on the balance beam, and she ends with a back handspring, double full dismount, and sticks the landing and scores a 9.875. So that's a good start for us over on beam. And next up on balance beam is Nikki Childs. She's a first-team All-American on this event and very solid here. She's been a regular in our beam lineup for the last 2 seasons. She starts out with a flip-flop layout, step out, and now it's an uncharacteristic fall right here on the front aerial. She just let go of it right there at the top. She wasn't confident right there on the finish, and that starts our problems.
And meanwhile, over on floor, Arkansas is knocking out 9.85s all over the place. This is Michelle Stout on floor exercise. She was followed by Rachel Barnett, who also had a 9.85. You can see a nice front full to front pike there. So our lead is narrowing as we're over on balance beam right now. She finishes with a double tuck. Very good difficulty for Arkansas. 9.85 is her score.
And here's Tiffany Tolnay. So far, she has just had an unbelievable competition. May end up being one of her season high all-arounds. There's her beautiful switch side. Here's her flight. You can see the amplitude is just absolutely gorgeous. Her legs are always straight. Here's her front tuck. No deductions so far. It looks so good. And here comes her mistake right here. Oh, she misses her leap combination. That deduction is probably at least a 1/10.5. She does 2 jumps here, so she covers up the requirement and then dismounts with a double tuck. But that was a big deduction, plus the step on the dismount. So that's a 9.75 from Tiffany. Next up, we have Courtney McCool. She starts out strong with her McCool mount. You can see the confidence right there on a very difficult skill. Then moves into her layout combination, and there's her first mistake. But they continue, unfortunately. Here's her beautiful front aerial combination to an immediate sheep jump, and that has tons of difficulty right there. Here's her switch ring. You can see the amplitude. Again, no mistakes, no deduction. Now's her side summing. And here she's got a pretty big wobble there, probably 1/10 for landing with her chest down so much. Here's her her turn. Another wobble right there, another 1/2. And now she dismounts with a double full and a hop to the side. A big deduction there on the dismount and a low score of 9.65. So the troubles are building, and Courtney jumps up and jumps down. We have no idea what happened to her. You know, gymnasts put in easy mounts so that they don't have to worry about hitting, and that's probably what she did. And here's her second fall. First time ever for Courtney to fall off the balance beam in her career at Georgia.
Samantha Cortez over on floor for Arkansas. And this routine goes 9.775, and following her was Emily Peacock, who goes 9.9 to finish up the meet. So this is creating quite a quandary for the Georgia team. It's probably the closest meet in recent years. that we've had, and Arkansas just keeps on doing their job, much the way they got into nationals last year.
So last up on beam is Katie Heenan, and this is the reason she's in this spot. She's mentally so strong, and under pressure, when she has to deliver, she always does. Once again, Georgia's just hanging on to this competition. It's so close right now. Neither team really knows who's going to win. We know if Katie falls, we definitely lose, but we don't even know exactly what score she needs to give Georgia the win. She has a good routine, does not stick the dismount though, and scores only a 9.825. It turns out that it's enough for the win. Georgia 196.1 over Arkansas's 196.075. Ask Suzanne, brought to you by Makar Homes. And this week's question is, how are the team's rankings determined at this point of the season? And the answer is, the rankings are now based on season averages. So all competitions so far are averaged into the rankings, and that puts Georgia at number 2. That's Ask Suzanne, brought to you by Makar Homes.
Welcome back. Well, as you can see, we didn't end the meet in Arkansas the way we really would like to. I mean, some falls there, but overall that meet was just a little bit sketchy from the beginning. You know, and I think all credit due to Arkansas. They looked very, very good. They're a much improved team, but we certainly did not perform to the standards that we would like to. On a positive note, we did get Ashley Kupets back into the swing of things a little bit. She competed for us on 2 events, and that's a very positive thing for us, because getting an athlete of that caliber back into the lineup can only do great things for us. And she's also a senior. She's been there, she's got the experience, and she knows what to do.
I want to just also expand on what you said, that just getting all the different gymnasts in the lineup, you know, getting Abby back, having Ashley back in Arkansas, that is so important to us right now because, of course, we don't have Kelsey Erickson, who got injured in Kentucky, and Courtney Kupets is still not doing all 4 events because of her foot problem. So, you know, getting these other people some experience and still being able to score high is a goal of ours, and something that we need to accomplish in this 4-way meet on Sunday, and we did.
So here we are in Raleigh, North Carolina, Reynolds Coliseum, home of Jim Valvano's national championship basketball teams. We had a pretty good following here at the meet, and you're going to see highlights only of our team, as it's very difficult to shoot everybody on a 4-way competition this way. This is Nikki Childs getting us started on the uneven bars. Nikki's a 2-time All-American in this event. Very nice giant 1.5 to a Ginger in between the bars. Very unique combination. That's a half pirouette to her pack salto, which is her second D release, so that she meets the up to the level of difficulty rule. Comes back to the high bars, getting ready for her dismount. A giant full to double tuck. Big step there on the dismount. 9.775 is her score.
And this is Marcia Newby, a freshman from Virginia Beach, Virginia. She's competing in new bar routine. There's a Shaposhnikova, bail to handstand. So far, she looks great over there. Marcia has really nice handstand work all the way up to vertical, a Stalder to an immediate Tkachev. Nice combination, a little bit low on the Tkachev, but all of her handstands are right to vertical. I'm seeing very few deductions in this routine. Her dismount, a double Arabian, you can see flex feet, step on the dismount, and a score of only 9.775.
Abby Stack in her first meet on the uneven bars. Her first competition was Friday night on the floor at Arkansas. You can see a giant full there. That's a Higgins turn to an inverted grip. Nice Jaeger. Another pack salto similar to Nikki's. You see a slight leg separation there on her pack. Half pirouette on the low bar. Getting ready for her big dismount. 2 giants and a full in. I'm sorry, 1 giant. A little bit of a deduction there on the landing, so we're not landing as cleanly as we'd like so far. 9.775 for Abby.
This is Tiffany Tolnay. She's coming off an all-around win against Arkansas on Friday night, where she scored a 39.45. Tiffany has beautiful execution. Friday night, the giant full was a little late. We talked to her about it before the meet. And in this particular competition, right here, it's coming up, you'll see a giant with a full turn on the high bar, right in vertical, just the way it's supposed to be. Beautifully done. Everything is very precise, and she has a beautiful dismount with a teeny hop, and she scores a 9.875.
Courtney Kupets rounding out the bar lineup. Her toe on Shaposhnikova here. Free hip to handstand, that's a C. The big Hindorf release there, that's an E to another C release, the immediate overshoot there. Right back up to the high bar, a lot of difficulty packed in there together. Another major release, a hop full to Tkachev, that's an E to D combination. She hits her handstand there before the dismount. Winds up, does a double layout dismount. Sticks the landing pretty well there. A little slight shift of the feet. 9.925 was her score.
And Georgia's 49.125 on bars was just a little bit higher than what we scored in Arkansas. As you can see, a lot of the deductions were still on the landings. Now over on balance beam, Grace Taylor, for the second time in the weekend, she is starting the team out on balance beam. Very solid and confident in this position. Beautiful leap to a combination there. Here's her turn again. Leg and horizontal is very hard, and to go to an immediate gainer layout is extremely difficult. Grace is basically doing a routine similar to the one she did Friday night. Both executed very well. Just a great first up on the beam, little hop on the dismount, and she scores a 9.875.
Megan Doolan in her first performance on the balance beam for us this year. She had gone exhibition on Friday night, did a great job, and earned a spot in the lineup for Sunday. You can see her Onodi, that's an E-skill, a slight balance check there. Switch leap to straddle jump to fulfill her leap series requirement. Flip-flop layout for her flight series. Very solid routine so far from Megan. Megan's really improved immensely in her consistency on this event. Very nice. Another D salto there. That's her front aerial. And a round off 1.5 dismount that she sticks. And Megan goes 9.9.
And up next is Tiffany Tolnay. She's had a great meet this weekend. Again, this competition, good score on bars and floor exercise. Beautiful solid beam all the way through. You saw on Friday night that she had a little bit of a wobble on her leap, but in this competition, absolutely no wobble here in this jump combination. Perfect, great amplitude. She is so smooth up here. I only saw a small deduction on the front tuck. She winds up for the dismount. Nice high double tuck dismount and sticks the landing for a score of 9.925, which is a career high for Tiffany.
Courtney McCool begins with her signature mount, the McCool there. It's a front handspring, and then she does a double stag after it. Flip-flop layout. We took out the second layout. It's not something that she absolutely needs. A front aerial to a sheep jump. That's a D to an E combination there. Switch ring, another D leap. These are very, very difficult routines that the Georgia team is doing. A side summy there, a small balance check there. And a good solid double full with a hop on the landing and goes 9.825.
And here we've got Courtney Kupets. Back on beam, you saw 2 falls on Friday night. And she was embarrassed. She wanted to get right back out there right away and show the country how she can do balance beam. This is your NCAA balance beam champion from 2006. And you can see why she moved so well up here. The front aerial was put in the routine this year because the bruising on her foot from the front tucks that she was doing. So we replaced that. But the rest of the routine is pretty much the same as last season. A very unique leap combination here of just a cat leap into an immediate switch side. So she's doing the side leap off of one foot with no run, which is difficult to do. She's another combination here of another switch leap into an immediate gainer layout. Again, nice rise and lift and perfect execution. In today's competition, she's going to dismount with a gainer full off the side just to save her foot. She does a double tuck also, but we want to save her foot right now and just give her a solid landing with a score of 9.95 for Courtney. So great balance beam for Georgia.
I'm Phoebe Taylor, and I would like to ask Courtney McCool what it was like to run out on the floor for the first time as a gym dog.
Thanks for the question. Running out with all the freshmen was really exciting at Georgia. Being on the Georgia team is amazing for me. It's a great opportunity and a blessing in my life. And to go out there and hit beam first and then hit floor was great. It was my first competition in 2 years, and it was a great start for us.
Welcome back. Wow, now that's what I'm talking about. That is some good balance beam. Now we're headed over to floor exercise and vaulting. We've got those 2 mental events out of the way. We've got a mid-197 pace. Things can only get better. What do you think, Jay?
Well, we're going to what has been typically 2 very strong events for us. We are without Ashley today as a result of a little bit of an injury that she suffered during warm-up. So that can make it a little more difficult for us on floor and vault where she competed for us on Friday night. But I think we do have the horses in the stable that we ought to be able to pull out a score. And at this point, you know, the important thing is to keep the momentum going and to keep executing the way we've started out on the first two events.
That's right. And, you know, like you said, we don't have Ashley, we don't have Courtney Kupets, we don't have Kelsey Erickson on vaulting. Other girls are going to have to step it up. Let's see what they do as we move on to floor exercise and vaulting.
Well, we're halfway home, and we've had a great score on the balance beam, and you can see Suzanne's getting the team jacked up, making sure they realize they've got an opportunity to get that road score that we need. And Abby's going to get us started on the floor exercise. Abby's such a great performer on this event. Opens with a pike full end. Very well done. Her floor music this year is the Pink Panther, which is something new and different for her. Another new pass for Abby there, a double full punch front. That's a C+ bonus in the middle. And then she finishes with a very well executed double pike, a D-level tumbling pass at the end, and goes 9.875. It's just off her career high of a 9.9, which she set early last year.
And here's Grace Taylor up on floor. Grace had a great meet on Friday night on this event. She opens with a whip to a double pike and a little bit of a bounce on the landing. And this is only her third time doing floor. And just is looking very strong. Middle pass double tuck for a nice solid landing. Just a lot of confidence coming from this young freshman of ours from Aiken, South Carolina. You can see here that she's getting ready for her last tumbling pass, which is a 2.5 twist, another D skill. She executed that well. Just a great routine for Grace all the way. There's a cat double turn, and she moves out of that and finishes and scores a 9.9.
And Tiffany Tolnay in the anchor's position on this Sunday afternoon. With her big tumbling here on the first pass, you see she does an Arabian double front. Enormous amplitude, slight hop there on the landing, nothing too significant to take there. A little bit of an amplitude issue here. As you can see, she kind of stumbles out of the second front full there, but that's a very, very difficult tumbling pass. And Tiffany's power on this event is pretty much unrivaled anywhere. She has beautiful tumbling, beautiful dance. She's got the whole package on floor exercise, and she's getting ready to finish up. Her final pass is a round off back handspring, big double pike. You see the amplitude there, beautifully done, 9.85, and helps us to a great score of 49.225. So we head to vault with a pretty comfortable lead.
And here we are getting ready for vaulting. We know that we're within that 197 range, which is always a goal. First up is Marcia Newby, Yurchenko half, front layout. Beautifully done. She almost does it exactly the same every week. She scores a 9.9 today. I think that might be just a tad high because the step is rather large, but in the air, I mean, it is gorgeous, it is high, good form, and done very, very well.
Paige Burns up next. Paige from Orlando, Florida, Orlando Metro Gymnastics down in Orlando. Very well done, Yurchenko full. Paige is continuing to improve on this event and carving a niche for herself in our vaulting lineup. She goes 9.8, and that's a career high for her. You see that she pikes down the landing, and that's probably the biggest deduction that she had on the vault.
Here's Adrienne Dishman competing for the first time, a front pike with a half turn. Nice vault, a little out of control on the landing, but this is the first time that Adrienne has ever competed this vault. She's worked so hard this season to get into our lineup and got an opportunity today when Ashley Kupets was hurt in warm-ups. And there you can see her vault, just shaky on the landing, but a score of 9.85.
And Megan Doolin, who was known for starting us off last year at the last minute at the National Championships. You see a little bit of a step there at the end of her vault. She kind of pikes it in and really probably doesn't need to. And had she stayed open in the hips, that step becomes less necessary. She gets a 9.9 on this vault, but she's capable of doing better vaults.
Katie Heenan, our stalwart, the gymnast who sticks. There it is, a stuck landing. And considering the 9.9s before her, we all thought that she would score a perfect 10 in this competition. She just seemed to be set up. You can see the landing is definitely a stick. There is no one who can question that at all. Straight arms on the horse. Nice rise. I don't know that you can do a much better Yurchenko full than the one Katie just did. And she gets a career, it's not a career high for her, but it is a score of 9.95. And it closed out Georgia's vaulting rotation with a 49.4. So Georgia wins the competition with a 197.25. Routine of the Week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center. And this week's Routine of the Week is Grace Taylor on the balance beam as she takes over the leadoff position and scores a 9.9. That's Routine of the Week brought to you by Athens Regional Medical Center.
Countdown to the NC2A is brought to you by Melwood Springs. And as you can see, Florida holds on to the top spot with Georgia #2. 4 top 10 teams are from the Southeastern Conference, once again demonstrating the strength of the SEC, and that's Countdown to the NC2As brought to you by Melwood Springs. Well, there it is, the end of a very up and down weekend. typical ups and downs for an early part of the season, but a very, very strong finish to the weekend. And now we head home. We've got Florida here on Saturday night, #1 versus #2. Suzanne, what are the expectations for next weekend?
You couldn't have staged this any better. Georgia's competing against Florida at home, #1 versus #2. And after coming off of the highest score so far this season in an away competition, our team will be set up with a lot of confidence going into this matchup. This weekend is also Think Pink competition as the Gym Dogs support breast cancer awareness in Athens Regional Medical Center. So fans, come on out and support Georgia versus University of Florida and wear your pink. We'll see you next week with the results.
The Gym Dog Show has been brought to you by Melwood Springs. Melwood Springs from the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Georgia. By Makar Homes. Makar Homes, built with passion for over 50 years. Brown Arrowhead Clinic. Arrowhead Clinic, Georgia's largest spinal health care organization. By Athens Regional Medical Center. At Athens Regional, we have a specialty. You. By the John Bull Stores of the Bahamas. John Bull, the shopping mecca of the Caribbean. And by Phil Hughes Honda. Phil Hughes Honda, the official car dealer of the Georgia Gym Dogs.